Hey, Pete here for Studio Live today, and in this GarageBand for iOS video, I'm going to be showing you how to edit the timing of a note here in GarageBand. But I'm not talking about MIDI notes, I'm talking about audio recorder notes. So any vocal track, guitar track, any external audio source, how can we move and adjust the timing of these notes? Let's go. Okay, so here we have the start of my track called Your Opinion, and I recorded this and I'm at the point now where I'm editing and mixing the track. And one thing that stood out right at the start is that there's a note that sounds like it's just not hitting at the right time. I'll play you the start of this song and see if you can pick up. So here's all of my guitar sounds. We've got our acoustics at the top here, and then this one here at the bottom, which is Git Bass, is an acoustic, but it's actually playing a bass track, and it sounds like this. So in itself it sounds okay, but let me turn on the metronome and play this back, and you might be able to hear what I have a problem with. So it's only very slight, but if you're listening carefully and if you now look at this waveform, you can see that it is early. So a little bit of variation, so a little bit of an early or a late hit on one note doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. But for this in particular, because it's at the intro of the song and it's like the third or fourth note, the fourth note that I've actually hit, for it to not sound in time is a problem, because now when I play it back, have another listen now with that in mind and see if you can hear that this is just sounding too early and it doesn't sound good. So again, it's only a very small amount, but I want to fix this note. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go in and edit this note. Now you can go completely overboard with editing, so I don't suggest going through and adjusting every note, because you are going to lose that human feel and you're not going to get enough value out of it. You're not going to have enough of an impact on your track. But if there is a note, whether it's a vocal note, a guitar note, a bass note, that's sticking out in the mix, you can do a very simple editing trick here to actually bring it back in line with where you want it, and we can line it up with our grid line. So let's do that now. So here is our note in question, and what we're going to do first of all is we've zoomed in all the way, so you can see at the top here we've got snap to grid off, and the reason for that is we want to be able to get our playhead and place it right at the start of this note. So there we go. We're going to now tap and tap again and go split. So we'll split that note, and now what we want to do is go towards the end of the note here, but not all the way up to this next note. We want to go to about here, and we're going to tap and tap again and split the note again. So now that we've done this, what we want to do is actually shift this note over. So, and the reason I've left a bit of space there is all I'm going to do now is tap, and I'm going to drag this note and line it up right here. You can see at the top there, I've lined it up right on the grid line, and let go. And there we have it. So it's overlapped a little bit onto the next note, but you will hear when I play this back that it's not going to have much of an impact there. But what it's done, you can see that little gap there that it's left, and again, that's going to be a muted part. What we could do is take some of the audio and extend it out and do some other bits and pieces to make it sound perfect, but you're going to hear that in the mix, you're not even going to hear this happen. I'll play it back first soloed, and then I'll play it back in the mix. So listen to what our sound sounds like now. So you can hear there that there's that little clip in just before the note. So what I'm going to actually do is grab this handle end and just drag it gently back to fill in that space. And that should do us. So now let's play this back again. Excellent. So it's sounding really good, and if we put it back in our mix, you'll hear the difference immediately of this really small move in the timing of this song. So there you go, we've only adjusted it a very small amount. You can see here we've just moved the attack of that note from where it originally was, just a little bit too early, and we've pushed it a little bit later. So it's a very simple move that we can do that's just going to correct any of these notes. And you can use this same strategy with any notes and to do anything. For instance, what I did notice there is that, and again, don't go nuts with this, but I noticed that this note here was hitting a little bit too hard. So if I slide that down and split that, what I can actually do is now come in here to my settings and drop the clip gain down. So let's drop this down by about 2 dB. And you won't see any change in the waveform, but when we play it back, you'll hear that that note is now a little bit softer. It's not going to stick out in the mix as much. Let's play that now. And there you go, you can use that same method across any of your vocals, any of your guitar tracks, any other audio recorded track. So it's not quite as easy as grabbing and shifting a MIDI note, but once you actually zoom in, get the snap to grid off, you can then have absolute precise control, which is a lot easier on the iPad than the iPhone, and you can line up and move your notes into position and then just fill in that gap. So it's a little bit fiddly to start with, but once you're used to it, you are going to be editing like a pro. And instead of having to re-record an entire section of a guitar track, if there's only one or two tiny areas that I want to adjust, I can use this technique to fix things up and make them sound better. So I hope you found this useful and you can use this in a GarageBand project coming up. If you've got comments, questions or suggestions, leave them down below and I'll see you in the next video.